I feel like the later the game goes, the more likely sLivko is to win.
Well, you know, MVP is one of these players. He's so solid. He has so many different builds. Hopefully he'll bring some better games here. But sLivko really showing us what you can do with Zerg back there. In a position where we would say, no, Terran gets that high ground, and that's it. You know, cheese early and don't deal with that. No, apparently sLivko says, no, it's fine.
Well,
I'll go to the late game.
Next map is Ohana. The countdown has begun. Ohana's going to be a pretty decent one for MVP.
Yeah, I think so.
The push distances won't be nearly as long as some of the other maps.
Antigua Shipyard was pretty good for MVP.
I know,
it didn't
right?
work out. So, going into the game, let's intro our players in the bottom right. We have from the team Rock's Kiss. Give it up for sLivko. And in the upper left starting location, in the red, give it up for MVP.
All right, so MVP no doubt going to expand and go Hellions, because that's what Terrans do. I wouldn't mind seeing a double Rax, but I don't think that'll be the case. sLivko showed last game kind of an interesting style. You know, he went 4 Queen, but a quick third into Roaches with Speedlings. So, you know, that definitely can be good against the type of push that MVP did, because the Roaches, of course, help out so drastically much against Marines and Hellions in the early game.
All right. Going down the barracks now. Over here, it looks like we're not going to have... Oh, I'm sorry. He moved it right at the last second. I thought it was going to be a barracks. So he's going to go command center first.
A good choice. I mean, sLivko is not going to go ahead and pull him early or anything like that. sLivko has to feel reasonably confident. I mean, as confident as you can against MVP.
Yeah, I mean, sLivko, he's got to feel great after game number 1. Then seeing somebody of the caliber of Supernova losing, you know, in that previous series, saying, you know what, today these Koreans, they're not so tough.
No, I guess they aren't. Well, we'll see. I mean, the MVP is not down or out yet. He is absolutely one of the Terrans that can, in any circumstance, find a way to win. So we do have the command center first. Drone is actually harassing just slightly, but we'll run out of here.
And there will be, we're kind of in the macro phases where they're just setting up all their buildings, making all their workers. You see a little chase scene down here where the SCV chasing back the drone. And he didn't scout yet, did he? No, he hasn't scouted yet at all.
Ooh.
You don't, what do you say?
sLivko has actually gone double hatchery before pool, which we were talking about so much before.
I love it.
Yeah, really, really smart play here by sLivko. He's just going to get his creep going, his production going like mad.
This is some super smart stuff. Because, you know, there are certain builds in this game that only beat people who are, like, really smart, you know? And he's saying, well, MVP, he knows this map. He's probably going to go command center first. I'll just get 2 hatcheries. Neither of us can hurt each other. I'll get a leg up on him.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's happening here. A very good job, good decision-making here by sLivko. Now, how many queens will he make? Because, again, I feel like, you know, MVP, is he going to do the same type of attack? Because if you go for, let's say, the 6-queen style, and MVP does the attack he did last game, it's going to be pretty good against it. Queens aren't going to deal a lot of damage to Marines with combat shields and Marauders. They're going to be taken out reasonably quickly. But against, when you're spread out like this, if they go for just a lot of Hellions for harassment, then those queens are going to be worth way more.
Well, as you can see, the factory's coming down now. Now, what build oh, actually, I guess it kind of answers it. We have double gas here. Do you think he's going to do another timing?
Oh, double gas. That's interesting. You know, I think he's just going to go for Hellion Banshee here. In which case, the queens are going to be very important. 3 are in production right now because he has those 3 hatches already. It's so crazy, man. His economy is going to get out of control in a second here.
And now larva injecting. And by the way, the Zergs we got here at this tournament today, they do not miss larva injects. Yeah, they do not miss a beat.
Zerg's macro are becoming so much better. It's actually craziness.
They put that queen to work right when she comes out.
Don't give her any time to rest
or
get acclimated.
No vacation time here. Starport now coming down here into Tech Lab being here and the Starport being here. I think you're dead on Artosis. Hellion Banshee.
Will we see Cloak, though? That is the question. And, I mean, he'll have just about enough gas to do that if he wants when it comes up. I wouldn't be too surprised. You know, already sLivko's kind of spread out. And if he doesn't have spores, when a Cloaked Banshee gets there, then a lot of damage will be done because his lair is going to be pretty late this game.
And I don't actually see any way that he could scout this either. You know? It doesn't look like he has a Ling available to come in here and check for this. By the way, MVP going to expand again, and that's what you want to do with a build like this. And this is probably the best way to catch up from Zerg, who's going 3 hatch before small pull.
Very, very much so, Tases. And now we do have Cloak on the way for the Banshees. Hellion's being produced, so he's going to be harassing and expanding at the same time. sLivko getting his Roach Warren, but no layer yet. So I'm getting a little bit nervous. He's going to need Spore Crawlers by the time that cloaking field is done.
And he's going to get a block off over here. The drones are vulnerable, and they're in a line, too. Oh, he's trying to spread. And
wow, a lot of drones actually being taken down so far. That is 9-10 drones killed. And it looks like the Queens will finish cleaning up, but not before he gets one more. 11 drones killed by these Hellions. Really well done. Now, MVP with his Banshees is going to want to target drones again. That's going to be what he's going for because he's already killed a lot of drones. He's lost his Hellion, so he can't really battle against Queens right now.
2 more refineries coming up here. And Cloak almost done.
We do have a couple spores on the way.
Thank God. I was getting a little bit worried about sLivko for a second.
Well, one's at the third, the other one at the main, so the natural is the one place that might be a little bit weak.
Looks like he's theorized that this, hold that thought. Hellion's coming over here, hitting these drones so hard.
That's right, but the Spinecrawler doing a pretty good job of holding them off. Still a lot of damage being done, and MVP's up to 17 drone kills. Finally does get cleaned up by those Slowlings, but that's a lot of drone kills so far. And we're about to see the Banshees come into play.
All right. The Banshees, let me find them. Here they are, coming down on the map. And he knows exactly where to go.
Uh-oh, yeah, there is nothing in here as far as detection goes, so a lot of drones going to die. He's going to have to run those away to
He has to actually
crawler.
ditch this location.
Yeah.
Like entirely.
And in fact, with no Spore even anywhere nearby, he can deal a lot of damage. Look at this, the Queen being targeted down, and down goes the Queen.
Well, where does he go from here? Does he want to try to go to another base and start killing more drones? Does he want to hit the Roach Warren or something weird? I guess that's what he wants to do.
Yeah, it looks like it. And that makes sense because he is going mech tasteless, and he does not want that around now. These Hellions trying to get up, and in fact, they will look at
my God. This angle is like so good. The Spinecrawler or Spore Crawler actually working out pretty well there.
Absolutely. Now these are going to get into the main base. A nice surround with drones and Lings, but they're still going to get a lot of kills. Doing so much damage to sLivko right now. MVP is just tearing him apart.
MVP is burying this guy. I mean, there's almost too many drones lost.
49 drones lost already.
Are you serious? At 11 minutes,
serious.
we have 49 drones dead.
Yeah.
Well, making at least over 60 with that last shot.
Oh, man. Well,
53 now.
That is a ton. Well, sLivko just made a bunch of roaches, so, I mean, he might just go up and attack, but how many Banshees do we have out? We have 2 Banshees, and Hellions are basically the army of MVP. What he needs to do is just make a bunch of units, defend attacks, and he's going to be in such a spot that sLivko isn't going to know what to do to come back.
Yeah, MVP with beautiful execution this game. Now he's moving up, but the Banshees here are just going to deny these roaches anything.
Yeah, they are doing a great job indeed, and going to pick some roaches off for sure here. MVP with a pretty strong supply lead right now, 111 to 83 at 12 minutes into the game. That is abnormal for sure. Now, sLivko, he's getting Infestation Pit. He's going for roach speed. I think that's about as best he can do is, get some infestors, get some roaches, and see if you can make something happen. Maybe MVP gets out of position. Maybe he can eventually get drop upgrade. But he needs to kill a couple armies of MVP to have a chance to actually come back into this game.
Now, sLivko is pretty resilient. I mean, I thought he'd be much more dead than he is now. He's actually only about 10 workers behind, which is pretty impressive considering he lost like 53 units in that last, in the past 10 minutes. So we'll see what he can do. He does need to push his creep out a little bit more. I feel like there's not one thing really going for sLivko right now.
Nothing is going for him. You're
oh, God,
right.
Here we go again.
That's right. Oh, even more drones falling. Looks like that might be the end of the drone kills, though. He's up to 56 at this point. Doesn't even matter. You can waste Hillians all over the map, and he'll actually be fine. He is getting Blue Flames, Siege Mode, Siege Tanks, Thors, basically just rounding out his army completely.
Here comes the Overseer now. Do a little bit of scouting, and he might actually, if he times it out right, see this fourth base. Oh, and actually the fifth base. So MVP is just going to expand. I don't think he can actually be attacked right now by sLivko. He's going to try to let sLivko attack into him, probably deflect it, and then go back and kill him.
It's a good choice, too. His army is way too fearsome for just roaches, so those infestors are going to be very important, but just infestors alone, when there's 4 Banshees out with Cloak, that's going to be annoying to deal with, unless they catch them clumped up.
All right, so we have a planetary on the way over here. And what is he going to get a planetary over here, too, probably? Yeah, that makes sense. He's just going to get that. The Banshees are going to force a cancel here. Oh, man, MVP has got this nerd on lockdown, man.
Yeah, he does. I mean, the roaches are coming up now.
Oh, my God, denied again. MVP is completely bulletproof here.
Yeah, sLivko is... He's like in a fish tank, but he doesn't know it. He thinks it's the ocean. It's not, Tasteless.
It's not. That poor fish's life is a lie, man. It is not a fish tank.
All right, so MVP is just, he's going to hit 2-2. He's going to be maxed out. And then he's probably just going to roll through sLivko, because sLivko's trying to go up to Broodlords as best he can. But even if he gets there, and he's so good with them, there's just no way it's really going to do anything. There's just way too much of a lead for MVPs on 5 bases against 3, going mech against Zerg.
So we have the Hellions and the Siege Tanks coming down here. Thors, all of this. An enhanced version of the Karn build with the Siege Tanks here. Maxed out meching Terran. He's closing in here. I don't know what he can do really. I guess he could try to neural parasite some of these Thors or something, but still.
Yeah,
this is going to be pretty tough.
I don't know, man. I don't think he even has it at this point. Now we do have the Infestors going up.
He may try to just throw a bunch of infested Terrans here to kill this off, which would be cool, except for the whole part where then MVP destroys the rest of sLivko's stuff, like his base and everything.
I'm not sure why sLivko is even doing that. That's not going to make any real big difference.
All right, so he's going to do that.
It's not even going to kill it.
Oh, this is depressing.
And now he has no energy on those Infestors, and there's still a mech army killing him. We should be seeing GG in a second here, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so. All right, so we are going to be going on to game number 3, GG.
All right, so that one was kind of brutal, I have to say. sLivko won a close game in the first. Second one got completely dismantled by MVP. The drone kills were off the charts all game long. And, that's what we talked about before the game. If you can kill a bunch of sLivko drones early on, then you can take him out. And MVP did just that.
I think MVP needs to stick with strats like this. Mm-hmm. He is the expert here, but, I like what he did. He's so good with his control and his execution, and he can juggle all those tasks back at home that... he just he kills all those drones, and meanwhile MVP is leagues ahead of his opponent.
Yeah. Well, looks like he wants a drink. A little bit thirsty. There you go.
There you go, buddy. Got to stay hydrated.
Mm-hmm. sLivko, on the other hand, doesn't need water.
He's clearly hydrated right now by the shot here.
Well, sLivko makes me think of a snake, and snakes can live in the desert, so he's fine.
Okay. Very useful information here from Artosis.
Yes.
Well, looks like we're going to have them joining the game here momentarily, and then we're going to go on into game number 3. We are slightly strapped for time here.
Yeah,
now, sLivko probably really thinking about what he needs to do in this game to make this work a little bit differently than in game number 2.
Well, this map's Cloud Kingdom. This is going to be a little bit more friendly for him, I feel. MVP, though, what kind of early timing attack is he going to try? Because I feel almost certain he's not going to go just for like 3 command center, 2 eBay right away. There has to be either a Hellion Banshee or Hellion Marine Marauder type of pressure going on, because if there's not, sLivko just gets out of control with his macro. He gets out of control with his tech and those Broodlords especially. Yeah,
it seems like apparently if you go to the end game with these two guys, sLivko does have an edge. Really good with those Broodlords and Infestors, Lings and everything else. I'm under the impression he must be reviewing the replay or something, because he's still not in our game yet.
Yeah, I guess he is, probably.
But
well, let's see. Cloud Kingdom, right? For sLivko, do you change anything here?
I don't know if this map is... I feel like Hellion Harassment's a little bit easier on Ohana. Cloud King... Well, no, never mind. I take that back, actually. I would just say he has to be really ready for the Hellions to come in. The weird thing about Cloud Kingdom is that third base that you're probably going to have to take if you're Zerg. That's actually hard to defend from Hellions. They can come in from 2 different sides.
Yeah, they definitely can. He has to be very crisp with his timings on speed and on the Roach Warren, so that he actually has the units needed to hold those off. He needs to keep his drones alive. Like, if I'm sLivko at this point, I'm thinking, okay,
dude, he lost,
I see what you're trying to do.
53 drones.
Yeah, it was just never going to be close.
Think about that. It could have been at the 11-minute marker, and he could have had, because he already had like 53, he could have had over 105 drones. Mm-hmm. Not that you necessarily want 105 drones in this matchup, but the point being is that there was a lot of time that was just lost trying to rebuild stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, at this point, I want to see him building walls. I want to just see him making sure that he's not losing a drone.
Yeah.
All right, so MVP is now in the game. We should be starting in just a second here.
Oh, my God. It's going to start so soon.
Tied up 1-1.